Welcome back to the program. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for all the warm well wishes. I definitely appreciate it. It was a tough weekend. I'm not gonna lie, it was really tough. I'm okay now though, and I guess the best thing I can say is I got a 50-year-old tune-up. Okay, because everything they went through, everything they checked, from my heart to my lungs to my blood to making sure I don't have any cancers or any type of infectious diseases or anything like that. Everything checked out perfectly. And so I guess with everything else that went on, and I was able to basically go through what I went through, and it was horrific. It was as if somebody just like pulled the battery out of me, and it was just like, oh my god, like what is happening to me? So sick. Had the IVs in me, all kinds of tests run. It was terrible. It was really terrible. But I'm on the other side. I feel good. I'm healthy, and I'm ready to continue to fight to kick the left in the ass every single day. So that's number one. Number two, God bless the veterans. Happy Veterans Day to all the great veterans, past, present, and future, that have laid down their lives, have laid down, more than just their lives, their families' fortunes, their families' lives. Because remember, veterans don't just serve by themselves. They serve as a core. That core is of their family as well. So to all the veterans and all their families out there, God bless each and every one of you for fighting for this country. And we just want you to all know that you are loved and appreciated very much. Okay, so it looks like the Sombrero Schumer shutdown is finally over. 41 days now, officially the longest shutdown in U.S. history. And isn't it interesting that the second longest shutdown in history was 35 days? And oh yeah, also under President Trump? Now, I was asked on multiple shows, I'm sure you remember, what are my thoughts on the shutdown? And what did I would always say? I think there's something more sinister at play here, folks. I don't think this was about health care for illegals. I don't think this was about anything else other than let's do what we can to stop President Trump and his agenda. Simple as that. And even Dick Durbin admitted that that was part of the whole reasoning here. But there's also something else sinister at play, and this is something that I said from the beginning. And this is what it is. Obamacare insurers bet $400 billion on the Schumer shutdown. That's right. Always follow the money. Always follow the money. Listen to this. Health insurers have never had it so good. Okay? Their work and their stock are up over 1,000% since Obamacare became law. And now they have received roughly $1 trillion. That's right, $1 trillion per year in federal subsidies. With that much taxpayer money at stake, politics inevitably does what? It always follows the money. And lately, the industry has taken a very hard left turn. In the last presidential campaign, insurers gave 5 times more to Heels Up Headboard Harris than they did to President Trump. Blue Shield of California donated $500,000, and United Healthcare donated $75,000 to Governor Newsom's ballot measure efforts on Prop 50, which could hand Democrats and health insurers as many as 5 additional seats in Congress. But wait, that is under criminal investigation by the Department of Justice. So they're not going to just lay down and let the gerrymandering continue. Then it says here, Newsom's Prop 50 won last week, increasing the chances of Democrats retaking the House and enacting their radical agenda, which includes impeaching President Donald Trump. Now, there's also been word that a new map was drawn in Utah, and I said that months ago that was another state that was looking to add at least 1 or 2 extra seats. Well, a judge stepped in and ruled that the Republican map was, quote, gerrymandering, which of course it was not, and that they went with the alternate map, which was basically provided by an AI drawing, okay, from the Democrats. And she was like, oh, that's good enough for us. We'll take that one. Well, that means we're going to lose a seat in Utah, but not so quick, because they've already filed an appeal against it. So I think a lot of these redistricting battles are going to go to the Supreme Court. And where it's legal, it will stand. Where it's gerrymandering, it will not. And don't forget, we still have the Voting Rights Act in Section 2 that still needs to be decided. And if they decide right on that, well, quite frankly, none of this on the left really matters. So we'll see what happens. Then it says this. The strategy appears to be paying off. Democrats in Congress are repaying the favor by shutting down the government in order to keep $400 billion of Obamacare subsidies flowing from you, the American taxpayer, directly to the insurance companies. That's right. And thus, eventually, what? Donated back to the Democrats. Wash it once, wash it twice. Okay? Basically money laundering for all intents and purposes. So they made sure that they shut down the government in order to keep the cash flow going to the Democrats through the means of the insurance companies that they know are 99% going to give back that money to the Democrats. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's why your government was temporarily closed down. And again, I've said this before, they don't really close down. It's just, play on words. These are temporary COVID-era enhanced subsidies that the Democrats and their insurance company benefactors want to make permanent. It was never about insurance for other people in the ACA. Yeah, it was about the ACA. Damn right it was. The Affordable Care Act, which is again misnamed, right? It was about this. It was about giving Democrats money. Money, 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 follow the money. That's what this thing was all about. And that's why I said there's something else at play here. What is it? I don't know, but we'll find out. Well, now we know. Insurers have been surreptitiously enrolling people who aren't even aware that they have coverage and don't even use their policies, thus pouring more and more and more federal cash dollars into the insurance company coffers without requiring any outlays on the insurer's part. This is a total scam whose scale and duplicity is only achievable at the intersection of corporate cronyism and bloated federal government and budgets by Democrats. And the political patronage doesn't even stop there. Health insurers are already paying back the Democrats. This year, they're hiking Obamacare premiums by 26% and then turning around and trying to blame it on Republicans. Democrats and the Democrat insurers that are paying them and their coffers and their campaigns are going to raise the insurance premiums on the signature plan of health care for the left, which is Obamacare, 26%, but yet they've got the prostitutes in the media lying and saying it's Republicans. It's a Republican shutdown. Republicans are taking away your health insurance. Then they get on live TV with a straight face and lie to the American people. It's pretty sick. It's pretty twisted. There's a sharp contrast to last year when insurers held premium hikes to just 4%. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Let me think for a second. Oh, that's right. The brain-dead, pedophile and thief was running on a low battery, kind of how I felt Friday night. And then, of course, they put the Queen in, right? Heels up, headboard Harris. So they only did a very slight increase because, they don't want to piss off the Democrats, right? No, of course not. We'll wait until after the election, and then we'll skyrocket him. Well, when President Trump won, they said, uh-oh, we didn't raise him when we could have. She lost. Now what? Well, let's shut down the government so we can keep our money coming in. Oh, and by the way, we're going to raise it 26%, okay? We're going to go 22% higher as soon as the election's over. These insurance companies are scum, each and every one of them. So then it says this. Biden and Harris ran for re-election. Insurance companies simply defer those losses into this year, or are they actively pushing Republicans who face midterm elections next year, the ploy achieves both of their goals. Furthermore, this health insurance company-led government shutdown has the effect of supporting Democrats' other than controversial shutdown goals, such as keeping nearly $200 billion in free health care benefits flowing to the illegal immigrant population. Meanwhile, health insurers are not putting federal subsidies to use for the benefit of the ratepayers and taxpayers. In fact, like with much of the federal budget, our money is going down the drain. Federal auditors project that Medicare Advantage overbilling will exceed $1 trillion. That's right, this decade. This year, the Trump administration increased Medicare payments to $25 billion, of which United Healthcare alone may receive up to $7 billion. Soon after, the Wall Street Journal reported that United Healthcare, the biggest Obamacare insurer, paid $9 billion to AARP, which is supposed to be the Advancement for the Association of Retired People, but I've been calling it ever since I was the national spokesperson for AMAC, the Association for the Advancement of Radical Progressives, and essentially stamping its name on the company's Medicare plans. This comes as United faces a federal investigation into Medicare overbilling, a risk that could threaten their long-term solvency. Imagine if that $9 billion had gone to patients instead of Democrats. How any of this helps seniors is unclear. If Republicans agree to extend these Obamacare subsidies, it should come with a condition. Many insurers pay for the privilege. One option is to pass the bipartisan No Upcode Act, which would curb the industry's Medicare Advantage overbilling. It would also help put an end to the practice of using inaccurate or exaggerated diagnosis to inflate claims. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the measure would save taxpayers $124 billion. Half of that could extend the Obamacare subsidies for 2 years. The rest could be used to reduce the deficit. Well, thankfully, Republicans didn't really cave here when they opened up the government. They forced the Democrats to eventually cave. The only thing they really gave up were the 4,000 RIFs, reduction in force, basically federal workers that they fired during the whole shutdown time, sadly have to be rehired. But who's to say they can't be refired, right? Exactly. And the other good part is the government is open past Christmas, so they can't pull any shenanigans during the Christmas season. And it goes all the way up until, I think, January 30th or 31st or whatever. I don't know how many days are in January, but something like that. So in reality, Republicans did well. Oh, and this little nugget too. John Thune, he snuck in a little tiny bill or a little caveat, whatever, section of this bill that allows the senators that were targeted in Operation Arctic Frost, you get it, suing the Jack Smith and all of his cohorts as well. And trust me, there's going to be tons of lawsuits coming from those senators that were targeted. So the government is back open. Hopefully President Trump can get this economy back on track in time for the midterms. And I think the shutdown, put the quote golden age back. I'd say at least 2 months, maybe even 3. So I wouldn't expect January, February to be shocking economic numbers yet. I think you're looking at closer to June, July, sadly. And again, it's because the Democrats are playing the long game. They want to run out the clock. They want to keep the economy bad just long enough so that they can run on a shitty economy and try to win back the House. We cannot allow it to happen. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.